Hey Kickstarter, it's Jim here. I just wanted to go over all the products we have in stock and that we're shipping currently, as well as go over a couple of the issues we had with the purple vaults and show you guys what that looks like. So first, let me go ahead and show you what we got going on here. Here, as you can see, we have all of our solid green, solid black, solid purple, blue, red, our white. And then we move down the list, we got our translucent purple, our translucent blue, the translucent smoke, which I'll show you a closer view of that, the red and the amber. And then up over here, we have our different vaults. So we have our black, the Cave Dragon gray, the blue, red, green, and purple. And there's the two different size bags. I know you guys wanted to see that again as far as what the sizes look like in comparison to the vaults here. You can see the bag sizes. And so what I want to do cover real quick is, a couple of you guys have mentioned your vaults aren't lighting up bright enough for you, or other charging issues you've been having. So I wanted to cover those couple of things. One, if you do not charge the vault long enough at the start, it is not going to be bright at all for you. And you need to let that charge, give it a good half an hour to charge on that. And your charger needs to be a 1 amp minimum charger. And I actually have our new chargers we just got in, which I'll show you what those look like. This one here is our brand new charger. It is a 2 amp charger. And the way to go ahead and check that is by reading your charger right here. It's going to say a AC input, and then it's going to say a DC output. And you're looking for DC output minimum 1 amp. So the new chargers that we're going to be listing up on our website, these are great for charging all the way up to your newest smartphones with a 2.4 amp charge coming out of them. And then we're also giving these, we have these new USB to micro USB cables, which are really nice. They have a nice thick rubber on them. And they look really good and function perfectly. So let me go ahead and actually plug this back in, because I wanted to show you one of the issues that can happen when you are charging your vaults.
So
if you see on your vault the green LED light turn on these purple vaults, the moment you plug it in, that is a fault. So we had an issue with our charge boards, and this is actually the inside of it. We had an issue where the on-off has 2 ground pins here, a ground and a power pin, and those are connecting with the ground of the USB here, which is turning on the LED while it's charging. So that's going to either keep it from charging if it's only a 1 amp charger, or it's going to slow charge if you have a 2 amp charger. And what you're going to notice is generally if you keep touching the push up and down on the USB, the error is that those are touching together. So we're working to fix that right now on all of the future vaults as well as the current vaults. So we're going through and testing every single one to make sure it doesn't have that fault. And so that way, when you do hit your push button, it's going to turn on and function as it should. So that is one issue we have had with these vaults. So if you did get one of those before we were testing for all of those, go ahead and shoot us a comment. We'll work on getting you a replacement and swapping that out as soon as we can. Another issue is some of you are saying that the dice aren't up to what you expected. So here I'm going to go ahead and open one of these dice sets that we have here. This is the retail packaging that we put together. The vaults do have a retail packaging, but because of an issue where the manufacturer of the vaults did not glue the vault to the base, LED base, that we're having to open every single one of those and fix those ourselves. So here I'm going to go ahead and real quick open this up for you guys. Nice and tough to open here. So here is our polycarb tube. This is the same tube that is on the inside of all of the Dragon Vaults. The only difference is it has a bottom cap here and a top removable cap, so that way you can store your dice. So I'm gonna go ahead and pull out a brand new set here, and we're going to take a look at them. So, of course, what you're looking for is, we wanted to make sure that all of the dice you can see perfectly through. Now, because they are injection molded, there is going to be a lip on one side of all of the dice. That is where we have to trim. For the plastic injection molding comes out of the mold, it has a little piece that comes out that attaches all the dice together, and then we have to trim that by hand before we ink them, and then we ink them right after. So all of them are going to have that cut line. We're working, trying to minimize that, figure out how we can make it so that you don't notice that as much. But every single plastic part that you will ever come across that has ever been made in injection molding rather than CNC machining is going to have one of those. There's no way to get around that. So with them, you're going to see them more because we do not tumble these dice like most other Chessex and all the rest, which will pre-wear them. Now, these are acrylic too, so acrylic is going to allow them to get gunked up easy with your finger gunk, fingerprints and oils from your fingers. So you can wipe those off. Do not use alcohol to clean those like we do with our metal dice. And because they are not the metal dice, they are not going to resist scratching and all that kind of damage that you would put these through if you were shaking them with a metal dice. So keep that in mind. Don't roll these with the metal dice, otherwise you will scratch the dice because they are acrylic and plastic. A harder substance against a softer is of course going to cause issues. Now, we do also have our glow-in-the-dark green right here. And then we have our glow-in-the-dark blue, which looks almost exactly like our regular blue. It's a little bit darker, but once you expose it to natural sunlight or UV light, and then place this in a dark room or cup it in your hands, you're going to be able to actually see the glow on these. I'll try doing a shot soon with the LED light off on the phone here so you guys can see what that looks like. Now, these are not any way, shape, an inferior product or anything. They've come out to the best of our abilities at this time. And like anything, it takes time to develop. So as we go through, we'd love to hear your guys' remarks, what you would like different, what you would like us to try for, you know, whether you like the indented numbers or should we go for just a inked on number on the next versions. We would love to hear so we can actually work on these and improve them for you. Now, okay, so here's a more in-depth to what this error was that I showed you guys earlier when the vault turns green when you plug it in. That also can happen if you push this button at the same time as you plug it in. But keep it in mind that if you just plug it in without touching this button and it does turn green on you, then that means that there is an error in this. And there's a real simple fix to this. Here I'm going to go ahead and remove the bottom on this for us so we can see what this looks like. So here is our circuit board, and what the issue is it's pretty simple. Right here there is an extension of the connector on the inside, the negative and positive, to the push button, and that when you press it, it connects the negative and positive together, which creates the trigger to tell it to turn on. So what's happening is that is touching this ground here on the micro USB port. So all I'm going to simply do is take a piece of tape. It doesn't really matter what type of tape or how thick it is. It's just simply to insulate that ground from the positive on that button. Put it back together. You can put a couple dabs of glue back on here and reassemble your vault, and that will take care of that issue 100%.